When should you use your once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to transfer money from your IRA to your HSA? Most people don't know that that rule exists, and even fewer know when to use it. There's one time. I'll explain that more coming up. My name's Mike Bernard. I'm the host of the Wise Money Show. I'm also one of the certified financial planners right here at Korhorn Financial Group. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and smash that thumbs up button. Did you know that once in your lifetime, you can transfer money from your IRA to your HSA? You have to have an HSA eligible plan, a high deductible health plan. So this isn't like, well, it's available to everyone. No, there's that eligibility requirement. But yeah, then you could make this transfer from your IRA into your HSA. It sounds like an incredible opportunity, but here's the reality. It's an opportunity that's inside of a hardship. It's an opportunity inside of a hardship. So most people, like I mentioned, don't know that you actually can, if you're eligible, that you can do this once in a lifetime transfer from your IRA to your HSA. So most people don't know that. But they also don't know when it would make sense to do it, because it sounds like an opportunity, but again, it's an opportunity inside of a hardship, and it's very, very hard to be opportunistic when you're in a hardship. It's like, I'm drowning, I'm struggling to keep my head above water, and someone swims by and says, hey, you're getting good exercise, it's great. Right? Not helpful. Really, really hard to think opportunistically or whatever when you're in the middle of a hardship. Maybe bad analogy. Because here's what we think. When you hear that there's this once in a lifetime ability to transfer money from your IRA to an HSA, you think, oh, okay, wow, I'm going to get a big deduction when I transfer this money. It's not a deduction. Moving money directly from your IRA to your HSA, you do not get a tax deduction for that because the money in your IRA is already pre-tax. So that's one part of the rule and sort of deflates the opportunity bubble. The other is you think, okay, well then I'm going to transfer $50,000 from my IRA, a big chunk, and from my IRA and move it into my HSA so that I've got a lot of future expenses, future medical bills covered in that transfer. I'm good. You're not. Unfortunately, one of the other rules with this is you can only transfer up to the contribution limit for that year. So you can only transfer just a little bit. And the other thing is, well, okay, well, I'll make that transfer, but I'll still, make my contributions to my HSA, right? No, you can't. It basically, the transfer counts as your contribution and for that year, even though you don't get a tax benefit. So that's part of the kind of structure of this rule. Now, does that mean it's not a good idea? No, it absolutely could be a fabulous idea and something that you can't miss if you have the right circumstances, if you're within this hardship where this makes sense. So what are the conditions? When would it make sense to exercise this once in a lifetime opportunity? Well, all right, you need to have, first and foremost, an HSA eligible high deductible health plan. You need to have an HSA eligible high deductible health plan. Okay, so if you do, all right, that's check number one. Next, you need to make sure that you have that plan for at least 12 months after you make this transfer, okay? You need to know, you need to believe, yep, I'm going to have this high deductible health plan for at least the next 12 months. Otherwise, an IRA to HSA transfer would be ineligible. And so that's the second thing on the checklist. 3, you need to have a known large medical expense upcoming. And 4, you need to not have the resources out like in your pocket or in your HSA to be able to cover that upcoming medical expense. So again, that's the hardship. I've got an HSA eligible high deductible health plan. I'm going to have this plan for the foreseeable future. I've got a big medical expense coming. I was just diagnosed with something. I've got a big surgery and my HSA is empty. And so is my pocket, right? I don't have the resources to quickly make a contribution to the HSA because, just a quick tangent, because if you did have those resources in your pocket, in the bank, then you would make a contribution to your HSA. When this comes up, I just had this come up with a friend. She just recently had surgery on her thumb, was just in significant pain, and of course, surgery is painful, but the hope is she can recover and get back to 100%. And the HSA, they didn't have enough in the HSA to cover the upcoming surgery. And so, okay, should we reprioritize and max out the HSA for this year? And the answer was yes. They had resources. We redirected some resources to contribute more to the HSA so that they get the tax deduction. Remember, the IRA to HSA transfer is not a deduction. There's no tax benefit when you make that transfer. And in this, if you had the resources, there would be a tax benefit. So they made that contribution. And then the last criteria, the last one is sort of an obvious one, and that is, but you've got a lot of resources in your IRA. You've got a chunk in your IRA. And the reason why I would say a lot of resources is, yes, this health expense is short term and it's urgent and it's right there in your face. But the IRA dollars are really set for retirement. So you've just got to weigh, well, should I pull these long-term dollars into the short term and use them? But if you have an HSA eligible high deductible health plan, you expect to have it for the next 12 months. You've got a big upcoming known medical expense and you don't have the cash flow to contribute directly to the HSA, and you have the IRA and you have an IRA. That's when it would make sense. That's when it would make sense to exercise this once in a lifetime opportunity. In the middle of a hardship, exercise that opportunity. There's an extra benefit if you are under age 59 and a half. Why? Because this transfer of, whatever the amount is, $4,000, $5,000, depending on your situation, up to that HSA contribution limit, over to your HSA, you then withdraw those HSA dollars and use them for this known medical expense. And if you're under 59 and a half, those dollars come out tax-free, but also no early withdrawal, no 10% penalty. So there's an extra benefit. If you are over age 59 and a half, technically you could just withdraw the dollars from your IRA and pay for the surgery or the out-of-pocket medical expense, but you'd have to pay tax on those dollars. If you transfer them to the HSA first and then withdraw them, then it's withdrawn tax-free. So that's the tax benefit for doing this IRA to HSA transfer once in a lifetime, is that the withdrawal, because it's for a medical expense, would come out tax-free. Otherwise, it wouldn't. So that's the time. That's the time when it would make sense to exercise this once in a lifetime opportunity. And again, is it this big opportunity? No, it's an opportunity inside of a hardship. The big opportunity, if you have an HSA, is to make your contributions to it on an ongoing basis, hopefully in such a way that there's balance in your financial life and that you can do so with confidence, because that contribution, you're getting that tax deduction up front, federal and state taxes if you pay them. And then if you're making your contribution to your HSA out of your payroll, right out of your paycheck, then it's avoiding and saving you FICA tax as well. Those dollars are then growing tax sheltered and tax free. If you then withdraw them for qualified medical expenses, they come out tax free. That's the big opportunity. But work with your certified financial planner. Their job is to come up with creative solutions, whether you're thinking opportunistically or you're in a hardship and maybe your brain's not naturally wired that way. That's their job, your certified financial planner, to bring clarity, confidence, and creativity to your financial situation. Work with your CFP on that. If you don't have a CFP on your team, you can contact one on my team. Find us online, Korhorn.com. That's Korhorn with K, wisemoneyshow.com. You can find us there as well, or give us a call, 574-247-5898. All right, there you have it. Go out and take your next wise step in your financial life.